This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV Wednesday night, and we talk to you about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Nice to have you along, and of course a lot of action. Tonight we'll be taking a look at Bellville up against Belhar. We'll take a look at some of the Super League games that have been shared by us, and we'll take a look at your logs, results and fixtures. Currie Cup is of course coming up, and we'll start touching on that a little bit during the course of the show. Big thanks to our partners on board with Cape Rugby. Direct Access is on now with us for the duration of the Currie Cup. Of course, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, as well as Intercape, your official transport provider to the DHL Stormers and Western Province Rugby. Let me introduce you to my panel this evening. Jerome Parvater. Jerome, welcome back.
Yeah, great rugby weekend, and it's good to be back and good to talk rugby again.
Yeah. Jono van der Walt, nice to have you back on the show. All ready for action?
Yeah, good evening. Thanks. Always good to be back. It's been a while. So yeah, let's get on with the show, eh?
Right, folks, then, without us wasting too much time, games on the cards then this evening. Belhar up against Bellville. Massive game. Of course, those two clubs are right across the road from each other, so a very big derby match, if you want to sort of look at it that way. And then, Jerome, of course, you had the Currie Cup there as well this weekend as a curtain raiser.
Yeah, we played against the Leopards there at Bellville South, and I must say congrats to the management and everybody who helped there at Bellville to get the show going there. Great organizational skills by them, and yeah, we had a great day Saturday.
Right, folks, so of course that's what we've been waiting for, is a big games like this. Bellville up against Belhar. Also coming up a little bit later during the show, I'm going to show you some of the Super League A games. We'll be taking a look at NTK up against Brackenfell, Tygerberg and Primrose, Durban and False Bay. All those games shared with us by the coaches from the Super League A games as part of the official Western Province Rugby structure. And we'll take a look at the Currie Cup, under-21s Western Province against the Leopards. But let's get the ball rolling. We'll take a look at the match between Bellville and Belhar. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Right, folks, there we go. So, Bellville, Bellagha, Jerome, this is your home ground, the Inner Parvata Stadium. You played there for many years. Your whole family is there. I mean, it's not often that you have the stadium named after you. John, you haven't got a stadium named after you, do you?
No, I'm not quite at that level yet.
Not yet. One of these days, the Volksblade's going to have the Van der Walt Stadium. Jerome, but Bellagha's looking really good, yeah.
Yeah, no, that first half, as we see there, Bellagha running the show there with their big forwards dominating there, and also came up with a few innovative moves, like we just saw the line-out where the guys were scoring there off that line-out. But a great game, great first half. And I must say that the whole first half, the Bellville crowd was a bit quiet. Just at the end there where Fuller scored a try for Bellville, it lights up the stadium, and then everybody was singing, everybody was happy. So I think it helped them a bit, carrying them into the second half.
So Bellagha goes into the second half leading 24 points to 5. Jono van der Walt, Jono, you've played against Bellagha a number of times. Looking at this year, Bellagha really is looking like a Super League A outfit.
Yeah, they are. Just again, having a look at some of their guys, some very big burly forwards over there. And then also JP, I've always said many a time, rugby is 80 minutes, sometimes 85 or 90, depending on which referee is blowing. But with some of those big forwards, slightly wet conditions, let's see if they can manage to hold on to that in the second half. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, the game is not over until the final whistle, folks. Let's take a look now. Second half, Bellville up against Bellagha. Bellagha, of course, go into this match, into the halftime leading 24-5. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. But there we go, cat's out of the bag. Belleville walking away as the final score winners there, 30 points to 27. There's only a 3-point difference there. Jerome, the two of you, Jono, both of you, in fact, like little schoolboys, that you're so excited watching this game. Jerome, I mean, give us your opinion on the game and tell us about this new Springbok rugby player that you've got there at number 12.
Yo, JP, yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, I'd say most of the backs of Belleville youngsters, 19, 20-year-old. But what they can do on a rugby field is what you see if you watch a Super Rugby game. The speed and the skills that these guys have, kick at the right time, their passing, the accuracy, and that's natural talent, JP. And I've invited two of the guys, that the number 12 and the one winger, to my under 21 squad now, because there are lots of that guys out there. And I mean, if a guy can play at this level, and I mean, those guys played last year already at this level. Now, just we can go on and talk about this game forever.
Well, let's bring Jono van der Walt in here. Jono, in fact, when we started the show, Jerome said this was one of the nicest club rugby games he's seen in a while. I mean, I can just throw it at you, and I can imagine you're just going to gush.
Yeah, look, I think what's also nice to mention is that it was a game of two halves. So you'll see by those highlights that all the tries were scored nice and wide, so by the centres. And again, maybe Ballar's defence a little bit questionable. But I think credit must also go to the outstanding kicking display. At 30 points to 27, with the North Wesley blowing there, you'll see a lot of those kicks are starting to curl. So well done to the kicker to keep his team within a shout. And again, I think a good day of rugby kind of out by all.
So just looking at the logs at the moment, if I look at the Belhar's sitting at the moment on number 7 on the log. Belleville is at number 3. Looking at the Belhar performance there, maybe the log's been a little bit unfair to Belhar.
Again, you kind of go through games within the season. We've had the dry weather, pre-season, off-season. Now we've got a little bit of the wet weather. Whichever teams kind of adapt in all the conditions, we start to get to like the business end of the leagues, so to speak. So those kind of teams and clubs that have the depth, that don't have too many injuries, and that can kind of stick to the structure in dry and wet weather, those are the guys that you're going to start to see at the top of the tables later on.
Right, folks, we've still got a way to go, though, before the end of the league. Let's catch up now with the coaches and captains and hear what they have to say after the game. Belhar's assistant coach, Ebrahim Beekers, and their vice-captain, Tandomaye Kiso, as well as Belleville's assistant coach, Regan Peterson, and Belleville captain, Emerton Boyson. Emerton is, of course, no stranger to Cape Rugby TV. Let's hear what they have to say before we go into the break. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy.
Ons het heel week goed voorbereid vir die wedstryd. Game teen Belleville sal altyd groot is because ons is neighbors. En soos jy kan sien, die skare het goed agter die span gestaan en as dit tyd dat ons gesê as hulle net die skare kan stil speel, dan sal ons deur die game kom. Dis iets waar ons aan moet werk. As 'n geruime tydjie wat ons in die eerste helfte punt aanteken en in die tweede helfte sit ons 'n bietjie terug. Is goed wat ons aan werk. Ons 'n nuwe spannetjie wat ons bymekaar het. Die ouens is nog nie heeltemal waar ons wil hulle hê nie, maar ons werk hard aan om 'n volle 80 minute rugby te kan speel.
We know we'll buy next week, but the rest does not come until the end of the season, so we will work harder. We'll prepare well for the game against Vineyards. As you said now, every game in Super B is difficult. Anyone can create any upsets.
Yeah, it was an awesome win to get a win against one of our old rivals. It was a classical derby in many ways. Bellhar got off to a fast start. They managed to put some poise on the board, and we managed to claw our way back into the game in the end. We are blessed in a way because we are a well-supported team. Our crowd follow us all over wherever we play, home and away. It doesn't matter about the weather. Last week we played in rain there, out in Rangers. They were there with us. So we're lucky in that aspect that the crowd is always with us, and that is what the club rugby is all about, getting the community involved.
Ja, maar eerstens wil ek eerst die Jesus dankie sê vir hierdie geleentheid eerst. Ons het geweet dit gaan kom hard. Ons het geweet dit gaan as 'n derby is onvoorspelbaar. Almal kom met guns blazing. En daar ons het dit gestik tot ons guns. Ons het ons fondasie gelê. Dis harde week op van die veld, of is dit baie harde week om in die gemeenskap te gaan van aangesien die gangsterisme. So ons werk teen gangsterisme en ons werk teen daar op die straat, die man op die straat. So ons werk vir die gemeenskap. Ons probeer die jong mannen van die pad af te hou. En dat is 'n result. So jy kan sien op die paviljoen, hulle is vol hulle bloed is groen.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Nice to have you along. Right, so as you know, the Curry Cup, Jerome, the Curry Cup boys were playing the under-21s. What was the decision to play at Belleville?
It's again taking the rugby to the communities, JP. It's one of the initiatives of Western Province, and it was good because I think Belleville, about 15 years ago, they had a provincial game at Belleville, and also it was good for the community to see the youngsters playing, and also, like I say, for Belleville, also then you get the municipality to help them again, okay, to upgrade a bit and to help them. So from that point of view, it help a club, and hopefully we can go around into other clubs also.
All right, let's take a look then. Of course, the DHL Western Province Rugby under-21 Curry Cup side playing against the Leopards this weekend. So good for us to start taking a look at the Curry Cup as it comes along. And of course, those of you that have just joined us, you will know that the Curry Cup is sponsored by Direct Access, that's now on board with Cape Rugby TV. Let's take a look at this Curry Cup feature. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and Chem 24-hour Pharmacy. Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Right, there we go, folks. DHL Western Province under 21 side. Jerome, nice to see the Currie Cup guys in action. Good win for you guys.
Yeah, it was also pretty even at halftime, JP. We scored and they scored. So wasn't too happy at halftime with our defensive performance. Not the defense so much, but the tackler not tackling the guy properly, get out of tackle and then just get momentum off that. But I think we corrected at halftime and yeah.
Jerome, club rugby guys coming through the ranks into the under 21 side.
Yeah, we had 3 guys playing for us on Saturday, and as I said, I invited those 2 guys from Bellville South also into the mix now, and also as we go along, look at club players and hopefully get more guys in.
Currie Cup action then at Bellville. Always good to have that. Let's take a look at our first of our Super League A games. It was of course NTK up against Brackenfell. A big game there, and of course one would almost call this a derby match as well. Let's take a look at the highlights. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Right, so NTK going down to Brackenfell, 35 points to 10. Jono, let's bring you into the picture here. You're playing against most of these guys on a weekly basis. Good well for Brackenfell, but NTK also looking a little bit more solid.
Yeah, they're looking a bit solid. It's a home game for them. Brackenfell doing well to pick up points away from home, and they've actually started the league very well. And are sitting quite high up on the log. And like most teams, have got a couple of tough tough games up ahead. So let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Jerome, your feeling on the game?
Yeah, I think NTK played well the first 2 games that we've seen, the previous games, but I think a bit disappointing for them on this week, especially on defense. So I think they also need to get points out of the other games now. Otherwise, they're going to the danger zone.
Yeah, Brackenfell look like they're doing well. I think so far they're climbing up the ranks. I'm not sure if they're unbeaten or not, but certainly got one of the better track records on the log. Yeah, could be a bit of a threat, John.
Yes, I'd say so. But if you look at the games they still have to play, like I mentioned, most teams have got some tough games. I think they play like Hamilton's, Durban, Marty's all in a row. So they've got to make sure that they're up for it in the next couple of weeks.
All right. Right, folks, let's catch up now with our Tygerberg. They were up against Primrose. Let's take a look at the highlights here. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Right then, big game there. Of course, Tygerberg beating Primrose 46 points to 6. Jerome, Tygerberg, well, they come off a good win against False Bay, and they certainly look like they're carrying this momentum forward. Anton Wilmot and his guys will be happy with this result. Primrose will be looking to get on the board.
Yeah, it's a home game for Tygerberg, good result for them. And as you were saying, Tygerberg's still a bit on the high, so they would like to keep that momentum. And yeah, Primrose, they got some players in, so hopefully with a bit of more coaching to give the new coach Taurik, who's there now, give him a bit of more time. So hopefully we'll see better results in the next couple of games.
Settling in, yeah, Jono. Primrose will be looking to stabilise at the moment, but they're up against Tygerberg that certainly look like they've got their tail up at the moment.
Yeah, Primrose are kind of struggling at the bottom of the log at this point in time. played against them. I think they've got some very good players and they've got a decent outfit. They don't have much depth, so they're struggling with third team, and their under 20s are good as well. But Tigerberg at home are always going to pose a bit of a threat, and obviously after a string of losses, they managed to turn it around, and now they're on their winning ways.
Yeah.
So all the best for them as they continue.
Right, folks, of course, that time of week when we do our Score Energy Drinks competition, if you want to win yourself a case of Score this week, then all you need to do is grab your mobile phone and SMS the word SCORE to 33090, 33090, and you put yourself in the mix to win a case of Score Energy Drinks. Congratulations to last week's winner, Corney Minar. Corney, somebody from Cape Rugby TV, is going to be in touch with you shortly, and you can collect your case of Score Energy Drinks. Right, folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at the match Durban up against False Bay. Right, folks, welcome back. As we said before the break, we were going to take a look at the match between False Bay and Durban. Let's take a look now at the highlights there. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Jerome, a win for False Bay. We're going to go to Jonathan van der Walt in a second, but False Bay walking away there with a win. 31 points to 29. Those were the two giants, we probably would say, in Super League A. Maybe waiting for the likes of Marty's one or two other, but is it fair for me to say that those are the two giants up against each other?
I would say so, JP. And also, Jono, looking at the results while at Belleville, I couldn't believe at one stage it looked like it's another one coming for False Bay. So well done for pulling this one out of the head there, because it was quite tight till the end there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Jono, were you a little bit nervous at the end there?
Nervous pretty much the whole game. It's just so interesting how tough rugby is. One week you lose by 2, and the next week you win by 2.
Yeah.
A game of 2 halves again. It is windy as well as rainy and cold. And in the first half, we chose to play into the wind, conceded a few soft tries. But in the second half, we turned and we had the wind at our backs. The wind had actually died down, but it was more gusty. And we just had to hold on to the ball and play in the right areas. And luckily for us, the ball bounced our way, and we managed to win by 2 points.
Right, folks, let's quickly take a look at all of the results then in Super League A, your final results. A lot of big games over the weekend. We loved every single minute of it. And for those of you that are not sure about where to find the results, remember you're going to go to www.wpclubrugby.co.za and you'll find it all there. Or you can, of course, download the Cape Rugby TV mobile app. Of course, Tygerberg walking away then, 46 points to Sinks over Primrose. Durban went down to False Bay, 31-29. Hamilton's, well, they went down to Villages over the weekend, 33-7, at least 33-27. NTK went down to Brackenfell, 35-10. And then SK Warmers with another solid win, 31-24 over Paarl. We were hoping to bring you the SK Warmers footage, but unfortunately just didn't manage to get that in on time. Of course, taking a look at your logs, False Bay sitting at number 1, UCT are sitting at number 2. False Bay and UCT now have both equal games, as well as Durban, who's sitting in 3rd place, followed by Union Mill, Brackenfell, UWC, Tygerberg and Hamiltons, and then followed by Stellenbosch. So there's still a little bit of a chase coming as Stellenbosch is going to be coming like a freight train. Jerome, we know that you have to leave early tonight. A lot of coaching on the cards for you. Your plans for the weekend?
Yeah, JP, sorry that I have to rush off again, but off to Durban, playing the Sharks this weekend. So, yeah, Sharks are a good outfit, but I think we're ready to go and get some points there.
Yep, they're a good outfit, but it's Currie Cup time. Of course, not good enough. They're not good enough to beat Western Province, we're pretty sure. Well, folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, Jonathan van der Walt and myself will carry on, and we'll take a look at the Super League B, C, is the Northern City, Southern Leagues. We'll take a look at the the NFL League, and we'll take a look at the Paarl region. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV, of course, brought to you kindly by Direct Access, your financial service partners, as well as Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Let's take a look now at the results in Super League B. A big game for Vineyards, beating Rangers 50 points to 18. Collegians 25-12 over All Saints. As we saw earlier on, there was a win for Belleville over Belhar, 30-33. Busy Bees 31-26 over Young Peoples. Franschhoek 57-20 over Macassar, and Kales River with a win over Helderberg. Jonna, there were 1 or 2 interesting games there. I think the Franschhoek Macassar game might have been an interesting game, but certainly the Belleville Belhar game jumped out for a lot of people. But Collegians, they seem to be getting their momentum back, travelling to All Saints, who beat Macassar last week. Collegians, of course, had success over St. George's last week, but now having to travel, they didn't play at home this weekend. Good result for Collegians. There's a few interesting results in that SLB there. Again, well done to Collegians. They're finding some winning ways there. I think the Kells River Helderberg, besides just result, but more the margin of victory is actually quite shocking. And then I say shocking depending on which way you look at it. And then another massive win for Franschhoek at home, man. Yeah. I think the other result that jumps out there, folks, is Busy Bees. Busy Bees getting it back on the board, and Alfred Kiwana and his team certainly will be very happy with that. Let's take a look at the results now in Super League C. It was a win for Strand, 44-26 over Peniel Villages. Elsies Rafir, 29-15 over Young Wesley's. Hands and Hearts with a win over Blue Stars United. Kraaifontein went down to Langa. Kylemore went down by just 1 point over Strand United. Manenberg Rangers went down to Scottsdene, 48-12. And Morningstar with a win over Wraithby. I think that's an interesting result, the Morningstar result. Morningstar it just seemed to be getting stronger and stronger, Jono.
Yeah, what's quite interesting to watch, if you look at all the results in the weekend, we're starting to see some wet weather rugby, yet in some games they have very high scoring, and in other games it's kind of 1 or 2 points in it. So it becomes down to set piece, penalties, kicks, who's making their kicks and who's not. So often the 2-point swingers definitely comes down to the kicking game, and then again down to discipline, penalties in certain areas of the game. So across all leagues in the Western Cape, we're due for another wet weekend this weekend, so let's see what the scores will kind of dish up come Saturday.
All right. Wet weather rugby, I suppose that's what rugby's... we're used to that, though?
Well, it is a winter sport, although, the last year or two you have had a bit of the drought, so to say, but it's nice to see a lot of rain. And it's nice to see again some wet weather rugby. So tactics come into play, team selection come into play, vital. Do you go with bigger guys? Do we go with faster guys who can tackle? You kind of select your kickers and play guys that are almost accustomed to that wet weather style. So always interesting from a coach's perspective, and then as well as the players. So
But folks, let's take a look at Super League C. Young Ideas 31-10 over Hamadias. Gardens went down to Violets 24-0. Masepumalele 29-0 over Caledonian Roses, and Silvertree 14-12 over Progress. In the Southern League, it was a win for CPUT, 48 points to 12. Atlantis 55 over Titans. Noordlikkers 59, at least 28 over Young Stars, and Peninsula 18-17 over Laguna. John, the one that jumps out there is CPUT's win over Retreat. CPUT, of course, bounced back as come into this league as the Varsity Shields champions, but Retreat and Peninsula threatening the top of the log there together with CPUT. These teams are all looking for the top 3 spots to go into the promotion league, which comes up. You guys play in the top 6, whereas they of course play in the top 3. But this was always going to be one of the big ones between them, and a big result there for CPUT.
Well, it's a good win away from home, but again, it just shows you the type of program that they're running there. So it's youngsters getting the opportunity to train, not just physically. And definitely the varsity kind of competition has definitely made their rugby grow from strength to strength.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's move forward now. The Blake's guys, of course, under the guidance there of former Springbok player Wayne Julies. Blake's winning 36 points to 17. Van der Stel, they'll be happy with this result, beating Whistling Wheels 57-19. Whistling Wheels has had a pretty good season. Silurians drawing with Windmill United. We don't often see draws, but Silurians, of course, coming out of the Super League A originally. Silurians then 31-31 with Windmill United. In the Paarl region then, Violets Paarl with a 1-point win over Young Standards. Allendale 63-12 over Parel United. Lower Paarl 27-12 over Young Gardens. And Riverstones went down to Paarl Rangers 41 points to 27. And of course, many of you will know Lower Paarl and Paarl Rangers have been threatening the top of that log now for a while, or at least are at the top of the log, and Riverstones would have had to do really well there to threaten that spot. But certainly Lower Paarl and Paarl Rangers are the contenders, so to speak. But they've got a long way to go. John, of course, the Paarl League is slightly different because, as opposed to everybody else, the Paarl League all play home and away. So we're talking about where the other leagues have only got 1 or 2 games or a handful of games playing 14 or 15 games. The Paarl League will play 18 games, I think, all playing home and away. So a long way to go still for them.
So it is always home and away, which is not too bad to gauge for a season. It does make it slightly longer than everybody else's, but I think nice because it's a good advantage. You get to play home, get to play away. If you maybe come unstuck away, make sure that you get your points at home and see how it falls later on in the year.
Yep. Right, of course, let's take a look now at the NFL League. Young Brothers, 17-8 over Silverleaf, and Kaya Licha with a 2-point win, 17-15 over Bishop Levis. Right, folks, before we go into the break, an opportunity for you to win yourself a set of double tickets to to Newlands. The Curry Cup is upon us. And if you're a Curry Cup fan, well, which I'm sure all of you are, then now's the opportunity to win yourself a set of double tickets to go and watch the Bulls up against our homeboys, the DHL West Bromwich Curry Cup side. They're, of course, playing at Newlands next weekend. So you want to win yourself a set of double tickets? All you need to do is tell us who is the official transport provider to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. It's very easy. Intercape is now on board with Western Province Rugby and, of course, with Cape Rugby TV. So just tell us who is the official transport provider. All you need to do is SMS your answer to 33090. SMS the answer. Tell us who is the official transport provider. SMS the answer to 33090. You put yourself in the mix to go and win your set of double tickets to go and watch the DHL Stormers. At least not the DHL Stormers, the DHL Curry Cup side take on the Blue Bulls at Newlands next weekend. We're back after the break. Folks, nice to have you back. Cape Rugby TV. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. And we share, of course, all the games, footage, and interviews that we do on the show. Let's take a look at the fixtures coming up this weekend. Super League A, Tygerberg are up against Union Mill. SK Warmers and Durban. NTK take on Primrose, and Hamilton's up against False Bay. Right, Jono, Super League A is getting, I don't know, would you say it's getting tight at the top?
It is. It's business end. There are a few games which, you know, if they go either way, have got kind of consequences for each team in terms of their top 6. So even if we look at the fixtures this weekend, there's 2 or 3 games that every single team is needing points to make sure that they can secure that top 6 rather earlier on now than later on and leave it for 1 or 2 games. So this week is extremely important, and with the weather that's coming, I not just predict, but I think we're going to see some interesting results.
Let's take a look at some of those predictions then. Tygerberg Union Mill this weekend. I mean, these are two teams that I can't really call it. I don't know, very close.
I wouldn't want to call it. I just know what the Tira are like at home. Unimall, Ish and his men have got a very good squad. I just think they're going to find it tough out there. Tira on a high. They know that if they get points here, they're edging closer to that top 6. And likewise for Unimall. Unimall have done extremely well. So that'll be maybe my pick of the weekend. And then, of course, you got an SK Warmers that are also on a high to go play against the Durbar side. Are going to be hungry for points, especially after this past weekend. SK at home.
Could we see a SK Durbar turnaround? We've seen that. Well, remember 2 or 3 years ago we saw that on a Friday night.
I've seen stranger things in the SLA. Bet your bottom dollar again in this weather. I just think, having played both teams, Durban are very, very strong up front. They've got some powerful forwards, and in wet weather, let's see. But you can't negate the fact that SK have got some live wire backs, and they can hold their own up front as well. So that'll be an interesting game as well. The NTK Primrose game.
No, let's just pause there for a second. I've got to stop you though on the fact that we've got to point out the fact that SK Women's have got home ground advantage this week.
Exactly. So and Durban haven't been favoured to go out to the track and play there. So that's why I said it's also a difficult game to call.
It's tough. There's a tough one there. Yeah. I mean, the SK Women's at home is
completely different at the track.
Going to where you were moving, NTK Primrose.
NTK Primrose, NTK home game. Primrose struggling a little bit, but looking to kind of get some kind of points out of this year. Yeah. NTK will just want to make sure that they keep on getting points to kind of avoid the bottom half. So another tough encounter for them, I think. But I'd say maybe I'd go with NTK, but who knows?
Right, and you've used this word before on the show, angry. I think False Bay this weekend are going to be up against an angry Hamilton side.
Correct, yes, and we're playing away from home as well, of which the field is going to be extremely wet out there, close to Sea Point, Green Point. A game I wouldn't call right now. Let's just see how the guys adapt to the weather and the conditions. Nicky's men and his team are desperate for points, as are False Bay. We want to make sure that we stay well ahead. And again, both teams have got some tough games coming up. So we have 6 games left, and every single one of them is tough. So, but we don't kind of look too far forward. We just look one game at a time, and Hammies are in our sights at this point.
Yeah, right, folks. Let's take a look now. Super League B this weekend. Vineyards are up against Helderberg. Vineyards starting strong. Of course, had a very successful golf day last weekend. St. George's up against Belleville, Macassar Hamlets, Goodwood and Franschhoek, Collegians and Kells River, and Busy Bees and Rangers. Jono, just quickly there, I think the St. George's Belleville game might be a big one. Belleville certainly showed us what they can do in that match against Belhar. St. George's, we know, are a tough outfit also. Would it be unfair to call it that St. George's has got home ground advantage, but Belleville will go into this game with momentum? It's a tough one to call.
I'd say based on Belleville's second half performance and coming on a narrow win, I think they're going to go to St. George's a little bit more confident. But it's again, the Lulu boys at home are also a different outfit. It's a nice open field there. If the northwesterly is blowing, who knows what can happen on that field there.
Yeah. The other game that I find quite interesting is the Hamlets are travelling to Macassar. Macassar had a very close game against All Saints. Macassar at home is always a tough outfit, but Hamlets have managed to show that they're probably one of the best travelling teams in the league. We've seen them travel with 7, 8, 9, 10 buses when they go out. It's the team everybody wants because the gate takings are so high, or the fans that they bring with, so it's really all very good. But Hamlets, just a week ago, travelled all the way from home. Franschhoek lost to Hamlets at home ground. Hamlets then showed that they can also do the same away from home and travel to Helderberg with a win there. This weekend, they travel back to the Helderberg Basin to take on Macassar. Can they do it again?
Oh, there's no reason why they can't. They'll obviously take fact that, you know, it's almost like a mini tour, that all their supporters and that follow them and come with them. So I'm sure that they enjoy being on the road. Yeah. And again, it should be an interesting game. Let's
take a look at the fixtures in Super League C. Young Wesley's up against Morning Star, Scottsdene and Strand United. Wraithby take on Kylemore. Kraaifontein take on Penil Villages. Elsies Rivier are up against Blue Stars. They will be bouncing, they will be riding, flying high. Elsies Rivier carrying momentum after their win against Young Wesleys. And then Blue Jets up against Manenberg Rangers. In the City League is Western Zebras up against at least against Violets. Hamadias take on Masipumalele. Gardens take on Progress. And then the Southern League is Thistles up against Noorlikers, Atlantis and Young Stars. In the Northern League, we see Whistling Wheels up against Stelkor, Delft up against Silurians, Blakes against Eerste Rivier, and Albions against Strand Pioneers. In the Siebenhornsburg region, we see Lamott up against Excelsior. And in the Paarl region, Simondium take on Lower Paarl. Riverstones are up against Young Standards. Paarl Rangers and Peril United and Allendale and Violets. While in the NFL League, is Temperance and Cities up against Imikawi. Silverleaf against Kailicha. Perseverance against Young Brothers. Bishop Lavis take on Watsonia. Right, so that's a wrap of your fixtures for this weekend. Jonathan van der Walt, you guys are up against Hamilton this weekend. I'm sure you're going to have your work cut out for you. Best of luck.
Cheers, thank you very much. We look forward to it.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us on the show. We love having you here.
Always good to be here. And again, a massive a big up to all the teams playing. And just make sure of the basics, especially in wet weather rugby. And all the best to those guys playing at home. And let's see what this weekend dishes up.
I'm sure the guys are going to have a soggy game. It's going to be wet boots out there this weekend, folks. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us here at Cape Rugby TV. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and Eps27 24-hour Pharmacy.